Alright, so real quick, we're just going to start doing the projector swap. These are the projectors here from Morimoto, the 4 TLRs by Xenons. All I did beforehand, off camera, was just pull the 4 screws out of the lens and give the lens a quick wipe down, because on both of mine the silica gel packet made it into the bowl and left smear marks on the lens. So I gave it a quick wipe down so that I wouldn't see those when I put them in the car. So first things first. This is your high beam, this is your low beam. Just twist the cap off, like so. Pull the plug off the bulb for the low beam, and we're going to take the low beam bulb out. Now, tuck this guy out of the way for now. And if you look, you can see there are 3 screws. There's those 2 on the bottom, and then there's one up there in the top that you can't really see too well. But, all I'm going to do is just take them out real quick. Now this is the driver's side housing, and the process will be the same for the passenger side, but the driver's side I'm showing you because this one needs the most modifications done to it. Don't mind the mess on the table. Still haven't cleaned up from the 4th. Been a little busy at work, to say the least. Been working nights. So I've been sleeping all day, coming home at night, and basically going back to sleep. Now that top one you're going to have to get a little creative with. I think I'm going to use a different screwdriver. Okay. I'm going to that one, and right here is a black tab. You just push it, and you should be able to finagle the housing out like so. Cutoff shield. On these, it's a fixed cutoff, so your by Xenon feature is this area down here is on a solenoid, and when it goes to the high beam, this kind of just clicks out of the way so that you get the full beam. This is actually a foreground limiter in a sense, meaning that it limits the amount of light you get directly in front of the car. And then this is just your lens. So this is how the this is the top of the headlight housing, and these are where the 3 screws are, here, here, and here. All I did was I sort of just pressed this little plastic tab here when it was in there, which will release the lens and the rest of the pieces of the housing. So just taking a quick look, you can see the new one's quite a bit shorter, so that's why you're able to just bolt it right in. This is actually backwards. There you go. All I'm going to do real quick is you can see where it mounts up, the thickness difference there. I'm going to stick a couple washers on the screws real quick. Alright, so we're just going to stick this guy in here. I'm going to tuck the wire up out of the way. Bottom, top. Bloop. Just like so. And hold on. So I just have here, these are some number 8 stainless washers. If focus. I just tucked like, I don't know, 3 of them on there, and just gonna stick them into the holes. So this one should be fun. I have, how to say it, lighter fingers, larger fingers than the average person. So, this will be more of a struggle for me than it will be for most. Damn it. That's exactly what I didn't want to happen. So I got that top one in. 3 washers for mine wasn't enough. I'm just using these stainless flat washers from the Depot, number 8s. So it's in. I used 4. Done. Next up, I guess we'll do the high beam splitters. So we'll go into your bag here, and you'll have 2 of them. And they look like this. So all it is, it's really simple. They're 9005 to male to. It's 2 9005 males and 1 9005 female. And all it does is you pull your high beam bulb off like this. Plug this in. You plug one end. It's all the same gauge. I'll plug the red one though. You plug one end into your high beam, and then the other end will just feed through in a little while to the other side. Okay. So another thing we got to do is we got to get our trigger wire out for our relay harness. What we're going to do is just going to pop this clip off here. Put this out to the side here a little bit. And pull this guy out like so. The way the relay harness works is it's using the original OEM high beam, low beam wire as a trigger for the relay. So all we got to do is get this on the outside like so, and all I'm going to do is notch out the thing here. So I'm just going to take my Dremel real quick and just cut a little groove to the outside so that the wires can come out, make the connection, stick the plug back in, and what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to take my, because all their relay harnesses are just 9006 style plugs, I'll actually feed through the adapter they give, and this only works one way. It's for 2 different types. It's an H11 and a 880, I think. So the H11 type, all you do is you take your bulb and you match up where the little knurls are, and then you plug it in. Nice solid connection. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to use the existing notch in the bottom here and widen the groove over this way a little bit and in so that I can hook my plugs up down here. I'm not going to show dremeling it out because all it's going to be is noise and visual, so I'll just show you what I do after it's done. So at the last second I changed it up. Instead I just used a hot knife, and all I did was I just notched out that little area right there and widened the groove. And now I'll just take my connector, plug it in, feed it into the housing a little ways, and just like that. And now that I've done that, what I'll do is I'll back it off and just make sure that my wires don't look like they were getting pitched, which they don't. So that's good. So we're calling that done. So now we have our trigger wire for our relay harness done. So the next step is to get our high beam set up. So this is your bi-xenon trigger wire. Nothing too fancy. All it does is it plugs in right down in that little clip right there. It comes with your little plug here, and all we're gonna do is we're just gonna hook these guys up real quick. So they should, you can see in there, it's squared off. This is squared off, so you insert them accordingly, and they'll just kind of lock in. And that one like that. Same thing, locks in. And you just take your little weather pack grommets, slide them down. And I like to just push them in a little bit. Cool. And I'll feed it through like this so that I can pull it. So we'll sort of use the wire as a snake here. Got it through. Just leave it hooked like that. Like so. Make sure you're clipped in well. And I mean, that's really it. What I'm going to actually do is I'll just take like a zip tie and zip tie these guys up and out of the way here. It's got a notch, so you got a little groove, and that groove goes this way, so you just stick it down like so. Now, before we get too crazy, we will check fitment of these wires, make sure the solenoid and everything works before final assembly on the truck, but as of right now, this should be okay. Alright, so I got the Osram Nightbreaker Xenorax. These are the 4300 Kelvin, and these are the laser ones, so that these are considered, as of right now, due to like some testing that I've seen from the retrofit source and everybody, these are actually better than even the Philips, what are they, the CBIs or whatever. These are currently the brightest bulbs on the market. I don't really care for like anything above like 4.5, 4.6 Kelvin, because once you start getting to that white or even with the blue, it hurts my eyes. I like the softer yellow light because I do a lot of nighttime driving, and that's just me. I like that color. Personal preference. I had 43. I had 43s in the Trailblazer too, and the Mini H1s I had in there. So all I'm going to do real quick is just open up the box, grab one of the bulbs, and just give it a quick alcohol wipe down. Yeah, you pay a lot of money for these things, and it's not going to hurt to give them a good wipe down. So drop it in. It only lines up one way. How does this go? Like so. cool. Sorry about that. I'm just a little, I don't know, challenged today, I guess. So, just kind of push it on and give it a twist. And I'm just making sure it's fully seated, which it is. Bulb can't move now, which is good. And we're going to leave that. Okay, so all I did was zip tie up the wires here so that they're stationary. Put this cap back on, like so. Next step, get our igniter out. Use this guy and hook it up. All it does is it pushes down and twist locks into place. So next thing's next, we're going to need to get a drill bit and drill a hole in the back of the housing here for our grommet to come through. Alright, so all I did was use a 1 3/8 drill bit through the back there. So we're going to take our igniter, click it into place, get our O-ring back on our housing here. Alright, so quite literally the only thing I did was I plugged the igniter into the ballast. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this guy and mount him down around here somewhere. There is plenty of room underneath these headlight housings, so I'm not really too worried about mounting location. I'll probably keep it to the inside of this and just do something like this. So this is just 3M heavy duty mounting tape. And this is a knife, so that should be that. So we have some slack in our wiring still. It's not the end of the world if we don't. But let's still take our cap off. And we can still have slack to get our ballast off, which is good. But yeah, as far as this headlight housing, we're good to go. The only thing that's left is to hook the ballast up, but we have to do that after the relay harness is wired. So we're just going to quick go through the other. So this one I'm just going to quick do the same thing. Dust cap off. So I ended up not recording doing the install on this side only because it's literally identical to the other side, except that the only big thing is all you're really doing is you're doing the wire for the bi-xenon with the high beam splitter here, and you put in the housing in. Otherwise, the igniter drill is the same, everything else is the same, but you don't have to get the other wire out on the outside or any of the other crap like the other side. So this plug just kind of chills out back here. So I'm just going to finish wrapping this up. pro tip, offset drill your grommet so that you get a little bit of extra slack to mount your ballast. Alright, so all I've done is a temporary mock-up. I had to spin this ballast here that way so that it actually cleared because it hit that back mount there. Not a big deal. Then I started mounting up my relay harness, so I got it on the driver's side on that bolt down there. I haven't checked for 100% clearance yet, but that's pretty much where it has to stay for it to reach the other side. And then I'm going to snake the wires up to the battery up there. And I just ran the wire for it down across through the front grill here and over to the other side. So, not a big deal. Gonna go grab the other headlight. Alright, so the relay harness going there works fine. Have the ballast wired up. Have all my wires wrapped and tucked up under here, like so. Not too bad. I just hooked my grounds up since there's a chassis ground right here, right there. So that's good. Everything's tucked up and out of the way. And I'll just have the fog light come here, like so. Run it up to the battery here. Hidden out the way. Looks pretty stock. Next step is plug the headlamps themselves back in. And test for function. That's all we're gonna do. Get away, bug. Push our connector back in. Push the red lock pin back in and pop the headlight in. So this is really hard to show with one hand, so I'll just demonstrate. There's a couple of pins you just want to make sure line up. There's a pin that pops in up here on the top, and then there's one that fits in over here on the side. So what I kind of did was I would just cock the headlight like that, hook the top one in and swing it into the other side. And I just have this screw hand tight in for right now, making sure it doesn't fall on me. The light on this side, we're going to come from inside the fender well. And we can't see what we need to see. There it is. So we got our plug here. And same thing, we're just gonna get her up in there. Push it till it clips. And then push the red lock in. So now these guys are hooked up. I should be able to close my garage door and test for function.